Cowboys down 6, 14 seconds left, no timeouts, ball at the 49ers' 41-yard line. Sean Payton said, you can get 10 yards in that situation pretty easily. I would do it with a pass, not a run. Mike McCarthy told us that they had a jumper, a 6'8" dude on the defensive line.
Yes,
so
jumper. Eric Armstead.
They were preparing for, a pass. I don't think that should dissuade you and not have you pass the football. One guy up there, but that was what McCarthy said. Sean Payton, if you run, you got to be conscious not to run too far. Dak went 2 steps too far, and you cannot hand it to your center. You've got to find the umpire and hand it to him. Everyone knows you've got to give the umpire. Here's the other thing we haven't really talked about a ton, the onus on the offensive players. Sean Payton said everyone knows you've got to give the umpire space to get in there and spot the ball. McCarthy and Dak were kind of talking like it was, the umpire's responsibility. Like, we get lined. I would think that too, right? Like, I'm going to get lined up as an offense. Why do I have to keep a gap in mind for you to go through the A gap to go ahead and spot the ball? But Sean Payton said that you have to, everyone knows, you've got to give the umpire space to get in there. Mechanically, the Cowboys didn't handle it well. Remember the operation game you played as a kid? The buzzer goes off and bang, the game is over. But they had some really good play calls that shouldn't be forgotten. The hook and lateral play to CD was brilliant. That got them 20 yards in 8 seconds, and even the 49er DB defending the sideline took the bait. So that's him on game management for the Cowboys.
Okay, that's fair. That's all good stuff. You can nitpick all you want about what they should have done in each situation, and that's fair. I think you can do that with every play of every game of every team. In some situation, like we can nitpick, but they were a second too late. If they got, think about this: if the ball got spotted with and spiked with 1 second to go, we are not saying a thing about that final play, about that run. We're not, but it didn't. It didn't get spotted with 1 second to go, or it did get spotted with 1 second to go, and they got spiked too late, and that's why it became a story. That's why it became a story. It ended their season.
Then he had a little bit of a different take on the squib kick with Kansas City Buffalo. He said a lot of it depends on my kicker. If I've got a young kicker I'm not sure I can trust, I will not squib kick. You can't risk the ball going out of bounds or being recovered at the 40. I also don't like trying a pop-up kick to land at the 8 or 10. I'm not asking a kicker to use a technique seldom used to place a kick somewhere that might determine whether you go to the championship game. I'm probably just kicking the ball deep into the end zone and giving them the ball at the 25 like Buffalo did. So Sean Payton, again, y'all, this is not to go back to games a few weeks ago. This is just to try to get a feel for Sean Payton's football mind as a game manager in case he comes here to coach. Well, so he's kind of doing the same thing as Buffalo did.
Yeah, and look, it's easy to sit here and say what he would have done, in an interview after the fact. What are you doing in the game?
Yeah.
And let's be fair. If you go watch college football games, most of these kids aren't kicking it into the back of the end zone anyway. Even the ones that go to the pros are doing those pop-up short kicks that land at the 8 or 10-yard line. It's not like it's a foreign concept to them. They could easily get that done. Just because you haven't seen them get it done, not you, I mean Sean Payton, or they don't do it in the league doesn't mean that they don't do it. They certainly have done it.
All right, what do you want next? Changing overtime, the young QB to build around, or fixing officiating?
All right, let's go with changing overtime.
All right, he said, by the way, my own side question. Did Cincinnati just screw up all the momentum to change overtime with how they beat Kansas City?
No. That was the first team that didn't win the toss to win an overtime. That was the second team in the last decade that didn't win the toss to win an overtime playoff game. And the only reason why they got it is because of a lucky interception that bounced off a receiver and went literally right into the crotch of the Bengals defensive player.
Because a lot of people who are against changing it said, now can we be quiet? That's the way you're supposed to get it done, Buffalo.
They didn't get it done.
Play.
They didn't get it done. There was a lucky tip that went right to his hands. That's not getting it done. When are these idiots going to realize that the turnovers like that are not getting it done? That is luck. I do not want luck to play into the outcome of my sporting events. Man, these boomers, man.
Here's what Sean Payton said about overtime. We've hit the threshold. There has to be some change. At least for the postseason, each team should get a possession. And if it's tied after those 2 possessions, the game continues, and it's sudden death starting with the 3rd possession. That's what I think is the easiest change. Just change it for the postseason. That way, you can maintain your BS safety measures during the regular season, and then when it counts, someone is not totally robbed, and we don't have controversy, and everyone gets it in overtime. I think that's the easiest and the best solution.
Totally agree. Absolutely. Let's change it for the playoffs. I don't care about it in the regular season. Just like baseball. You know what I want in the regular season? I want the runner on second base. In the regular season and extra innings. You know what I don't want? I don't want that in the playoffs. In the playoffs, you go to the old school way. Just like in hockey. In the regular season, 3-on-3, 4 to 5 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever, shootout, bam. In the playoffs, full ice, 20-minute periods. Let's go. That's what I want to see.